Conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, everyone! Welcome back to another installment of In Conclusion, the only movie podcast that doesn't have Billy Zane in this one.
Boo!
I'm Dan O'Keefe, and that boo that you heard coming from the ether is Anna Otto. How are you doing, Anna?
I'd be better if Billy Zane was in Back to the Future 3, but I guess I'm okay. Dan, I'll recover somehow.
Also joining us today from the previous two episodes is another Anna, because we like to make things simple and easy. Mm-hmm. Anna Horst, how are you?
Dan, I'm just dandy. I want to be outside basking in the sun, but we do get to talk about Back to the Future 3, which is going to be wonderful. Yes.
What an NPR answer you just gave.
Does NPR want to just be outside basking in the sun all day? Is that...
There's nothing I want to do more than lay out on the grass and think.
Did I ever tell you? Oh, sorry. Did I ever tell you? One time, like right when things started warming up in the beginning of May, late April, I went to my parents' house and I was laying on the cement outside in the sun because it was comfy, and their elderly neighbor came over and told me that she thought I passed out and wanted to make sure I was okay. And I replied with, "Nope, I'm just a snake. I like the sun."
Anna, I'm glad that you too love laying on concrete in the sun, because that's
I do.
One of my favorite pastimes.
Yes, good.
Anna Horst has made me lay on the concrete at her parents' house.
Yes.
Because it was so warm.
Yes, I love a good hot stone, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now that we've already gone far off the rails, which is relevant, what movie are we talking about? We already said it. It's Back to the Future 3. Back to the Future 3 released on a date May 25th, 1990, directed by Robert Zemeckis again, written by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, starring Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Thomas F. Wilson, Leah Thompson, and newcomer Mary Steenburgen. It made $246.1 million on a budget of $40 million, which makes it the lowest grossing film in the Back to the Future series. And it is the first Universal movie to have their 75th anniversary opening title.
We did know.
I don't know if they took that out on the Netflix one, but on the DVD copies it has that.
I don't remember what the title sequence was. I was still gathering together drinks and snacks, but
Horst, since you are embattled guest, embattled wasn't the right word, I don't care. Since you're our guest,
esteemed,
that's it. What'd you think of the movie?
Okay, I know that I think when we started this series, I was thinking that I enjoyed the third one more than the other two, but now I really do think that I like the second one the best. I think this one was good, but it was a little too cheesy for me, like especially the end. We'll get around to that, but I don't know. I don't totally like the way they ended it. I do like that they go back to the Wild West. But yes, that's my thoughts.
I'm gonna talk. I think it's cute. Like, I definitely think it's cheesy, like you're saying. Compared to the first and second one, some of the time I'm kind of like, this is kind of a random addition. It just seems so extra, but like, it's cute. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's not my favorite, but this is one of those rare occasions where, like, if somebody was randomly like, do you want to watch Back to the Future 3? I'd be like, sure, It's kind of like a standalone. It's not really, but it kind of is. Like, it could be. Because it's still like a science fiction-y movie, but it's like so not at the same time. It's just cute. I think it's cute.
Now, when you say it's a science fiction-y movie, do you mean science fiction-y or like a science fiction movie that they would create for the E network?
I'm glaring at you. I want all our listeners to know that I'm currently glaring at Dan.
I'm also
I mean
glaring.
science. Thank you. I mean science fiction-y. Thank you.
I've never felt more ire directed towards me than at that moment. Both of the Annas, the joy dropped from their face, and there was nothing but disgust.
Good.
Yes.
I feel like my mood was really extra. What am I trying to say? My giant eyelashes helped to really convey the mood I was trying to give you right now.
I liked the movie. I thought it was fun. I liked that they went back to the Wild West. I loved the Wild West theme that they made for the music. I thought that was very fun. I did think it was the silliest of the three, especially with Mary Steenburgen. A lot of her stuff, I was like, this is boring.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really liked Tom Wilson in the movie as Mad Dog Tannen.
I yeah,
thought
Mad Dog's good.
He was so hammy, but it was perfect.
I feel like in
fun.
oh sorry, I was gonna say in all the movies I feel like he does a really good job of being hammy in a way that you can tell all the characters are related, but also hammy in a way that it's not the same. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like I like it. Each character has their own distinct Biff family, Tannen family hamness, but in a way that's it's cute. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
It's cute. Yes, Dan, also I forgot to mention, you witnessed it, my love of the music, or that little twang that they basically is the theme of the Wild West in this film.
In the square dance
Yes, the
part,
square
or
dance
the town
song,
square dance
yes.
part?
I love that. I love it so much.
Yes. One of the DVD menus had that music, and we stayed on that for a good amount of time while Anna was like, yes.
Love it. I always make Gage do that. I shouldn't say always. I did that the one time Gage tried to get me to watch the first half of his extended edition Lord of the Rings just because it was the Hobbit music, and I really like it. So.
Okay, let's get into the movie. So it starts out previously on, and we go back to the first movie, and we see the climax of that. Doc having to slide down, plug it all in. Marty going forward, goes back to the future. Va-va-voom, everything is good. And then we see from the end of the previous movie, 1955 leather jacket, cool guy Marty comes out, and he's like, Doc, I'm back.
It's very I open at the close, you feel me? That's literally what I put. I was like, ooh, look at that. I open at the close, which is so dumb. This was me at 10 o'clock this morning watching a movie.
So then Marty tells Doc that 1985 Doc was transported to 1885 and is trapped there because the DeLorean has been... the circuits were fried or something? Yeah, something like that. So Marty and 1955 Doc use the info from Doc's letter to find and repair the DeLorean. The DeLorean is currently buried in a very well-kept, seeming Old West cemetery.
Wait, when they go to find the DeLorean, can we talk about how Copernicus has his own little digging hat on?
Yes!
And it's got a little light? Oh my god, I was overwhelmed. He was so cute. I almost had to pause the movie and cry. He was so cute. That dog really was working overtime, thank you.
Copernicus was doing the most to be the cute dog, as cute as possible of a dog.
Yes.
It cured me of all my ailments. I have clear skin now. It was everything.
So when they go and they dig out the DeLorean, they see a tombstone a very well-kept tombstone,
That's
despite
what
it being
I said.
70 years later.
That's literally what I said. I was like, no way. There's no way a real tombstone would ever look that clean and fresh like he died yesterday. But
It's so weird that this 70-year-old tombstone seems to be made out of styrofoam.
yeah, literally.
Also, what I think is funny is that they have Doc's cause of death on the tombstone. Did they do that back then?
I don't think so. Like, I think you would say something memorable. Maybe you would be like, he was a chicken if he, like, you know, how they were making it out to seem. But I don't think they would have been like, died from gunshot wound on this day. You know, it seems a little too detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they would have put like a cutesy little rhyme instead? You know, like a funny tombstone? I don't know.
Emmett Brown was a clown. Mad Dog Tannen made him frown.
Yes. Dan, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was genius.
Hire me to write your epitaph.
Oh, MG, done.
I have a new career path.
Yes.
So anyways, Marty takes a picture of the tombstone, and he goes to save... in the letter, Doc had told him, do not come back to save me from 1885. But that was before Marty saw the tombstone. I was like, oh my God, Doc's going to die. And the letter was written only 6 days before his death. So Marty, make sure, if you can hear that in the background, there are motorcycles driving past. It's warm out, and apparently our street is the place to go if you're riding a crotch rocket.
The hot spot for crotch rockets.
It's always those like Mazdas and Suzuki motorcycles. It's stuff like that. It's never like a Harley or something like that. Those, they stay on the one closer to the river. Now the crotch rockets, they got to go up on the bluff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Marty makes sure that he goes and he's going to save Doc because he can't let him die. So they go to a drive-in in Monument Valley, which they say is a little ways out from Hill Valley. Monument Valley's in Utah. Hill Valley's in California. It's a little ways out from Hill Valley.
Yeah. I mean, I guess unless he lives like on the border of California, right? Is there a California-Utah border? That seems fake.
No, that's Nevada.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
not.
that's what
That
I thought.
border is Nevada.
Nevada and New Mexico, right? And then it's Colorado and Utah?
Correct.
Oh, man. Third grade geography be with me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I just had to think for a second. I thought Nevada and Utah were flipped for some reason. I don't have a map in front of me in case you didn't know, so...
I think I asked Dan, I was like, wait, is this actually like what is this California though?
Right?
I was like, it doesn't look like California. I don't know how Hill Valley could be close at all.
Yeah, no.
And when they go to the drive-in, it really pains me that this drive-in isn't real because it was adorable. It was so 50s. It had all the 50s colors, the pale pink, the pale green, the moss-colored green, the teal. Marty is dressed up in the cutest little cowboy getup possible with like atomic age symbols on his shoulders and the fringe. It's all pink and stuff.
I love
That's
it.
how I want to dress in my daily life.
Oh my God. With the Nikes, though?
Yes,
Yeah.
with the Nikes.
Yeah, for sure.
Get used to those tight
It's-
pants, Dan. They're tight.
The pants in this movie, for every character, my eyes were drawn to many a butt.
Yes.
I'll just say it right now. The pants were so tight. I was like, who did this?
Butt game was
Absolutely
strong.
no give.
No give. Like, and I was looking at butts I wasn't even expecting to look at. Like, Christopher Lloyd, never have I ever considered looking at his booty. And there I was, you know?
Well,
I was looking.
now that we're playing Never Have I Ever, I do have to put my finger down.
There you go.
So Marty gets in the DeLorean and he backs up, definitely not far enough to hit 88, but whatever. And he drives towards the screen. They go out here because they say that he can't run into anything. This was undeveloped back then. And as he goes back into 1885, he is met with a group of Native Americans riding towards him, or slightly problematically Indians. But
Yeah.
that was how everything was referred to in 1990 or whatever they
Yeah.
named
Again,
this.
we don't excuse it, but it was the term of the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they are being chased by the cavalry, by the U.S. cavalry Because you know what they say? Manifest destiny. Go west, young man. Yes. Nothing problematic about America.
I shouldn't laugh. I don't know how else to reply. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Marty, he ends up backing into a cave that's there. But when he does, the gas tank gets punctured by a rock. Anna, Otto, you look really
Sorry,
distressed.
it's just because I know we're going to talk about the bear, and I'm not distressed. It's just really cute. Okay.
It is.
Okay, talk about the bear. What happens with the bear?
So he's in the cave looking at his gas tank, and all of a sudden he hears a sound. He looks up, and there's what appears to be a brown bear. I don't know. I'm not a bear scientist. I just look at them and think they're all cute but dangerous. But it looked like it was a black bear. I think it said brown bear.
I think it was
a black bear.
A black bear, yeah. And he's standing up and he's like, "Rawr!" And Marty runs and he drops the shoes that he was supposed to wear, the cowboy boots, and the bear like puts them on his little nose, and it's just so cute. It's so cute. Like, oh, scary, an animal, but that bear was cute.
I will say, when they had the shots over the bear's shoulder, that was a man.
Oh yeah, that was a person in a bear suit. Like,
you could
so
see their
bad.
shoulders.
Dan,
Oh, yeah.
Did you want to be in that bear suit?
Are you kidding me? I want to be in that bear suit. I want to be in the Wampa suit from Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, the like white snow monster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever my mom would want us to dress up for Halloween, she always wanted us to do Wizard of Oz.
Cute.
And my oldest brother would be the Scarecrow, because he's the tallest, and he's obviously the protagonist in our family. My middle brother would be the Tin Man, because it would go against his type. He's the smartest one, so he would need the brain. And then I'm a coward, and I like playing dress-up, so I would have to be the Lion.
Oh. That's so cute, though, for real. Oh,
We never
so
did
cute.
it, though.
Oh.
Because I was a coward, and I was a petulant little child. So Marty goes, and he's walking towards Hill Valley. He ends up tripping and falling down a very steep hill, and he knocks his head into a fence. He breaks a fence, and then immediately standing over him, like he was called there by God, is Michael J. Fox doing an Irish accent, as it turns out.
And wearing a red wig that I couldn't get past because he does not look good as a redhead.
He does not, no. So Marty gets knocked out, and then he wakes up. We do the classic wake-up scene. It's weird that his great-grandmother looks exactly like his mother. There's some questionable... breeding is the wrong word.
Incest?
Maybe?
Yeah,
I
something
don't know.
like that. We don't know what the genes are like in Hill Valley, how small of a community it is, you know?
Right.
All we can say is that the McFlys like to keep it in the family.
Yep. They're not concerned with serious birth defects due to incest. Nope.
So Marty wakes up and he does the whole, freaked out. He's in 1885, thinks it's a bad dream. He should be used to this by now. He's only been doing this for 2 weeks. And he meets his great-grandparents, Seamus and Maggie McFly.
Adorable.
Yeah. Great name.
And he also meets his great-grandfather, whose name I completely forget. But
William.
it's their child. William McFly. He's a baby. Marty is the only stranger that he takes to, because he's family. And something that I think is really interesting in this scene is the conversations between Michael J. Fox. They like hand things to each other. The camera is moving during their conversations. They pass over each other. So even from the second movie to the third movie, whatever they used, the green screen or the compositing or whatever they did, or the body doubles, it improved markedly, because it was 90% of the time you couldn't tell that they were being filmed at separate times.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you. I think it looked a lot more natural and smooth than it had in the last movie.
Which is interesting because they filmed these back to back.
Yeah. Maybe they just couldn't get the same soundstage that they were using, so they somehow got to use some different technology that was a little bit newer and a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg put that Jurassic Park technology into it.
Yeah, and he was like, well...
So Marty, he starts walking towards Hill Valley. He's walking on the train tracks. He ends up getting to Hill Valley. I have a slight question about the geography and why they decided to build Hill Valley where it was. So most settlements and throughout history, they're built because there's water there. What's in Hill Valley?
Now, I don't know. It's been a long time since I remember talking about this kind of stuff, but do you think maybe was it like a gold mining town? There was
It
nothing
could've
to
been.
lead to that, but that's, I mean, why people were in California, right?
The gold rush,
Right.
but that was in 49.
True.
So it could have been a town that ended up just sticking around, like a gold rush town that had staying power for some reason.
That's like the only thing that comes to mind for me is like there was money there or oil or something. I don't know if oil was a thing back then. Oh, that's a stupid way to put it. I don't know if oil was as important as it is now. But, you know, like stuff like that.
Oil didn't exist until 1926.
No, it wasn't a thing.
Marty goes into town. He walks through town. We see what Hill Valley looked like in 1885. It's a pretty typical Western town. If you were watching any Western show, Bonanza or The Rifleman, whatever, it would look like that.
Oh my God, my parents love both of those shows.
Yes.
We were watching Maverick earlier this morning.
Oh my God, you guys should go hang out with Mare and Jer. They've been watching Have Gun Will Travel. Like, oh, it's not for me, dog. It's not for me.
We're going to have a double date with your parents. Is that what I hear?
Yeah, have fun. They're cool.
They say romance is dead. So when Marty gets into town, he ends up going into the bar, and he is greeted at he asks for water and gets laughed at. They only serve whiskey there.
Okay, wait. I have a comment to make. When the bartender pours the whiskey and it's like smoking.
Yeah, why is it smoking?
I have not been more repulsed by a beverage in my life. I was horrified. I was like, what is going on? But anyway, I just had to put in my little 2 cents about the sizzling whiskey.
Oh, that should be a brand. Sizzling whiskey.
Anna, get on it.
Sizzling whiskey.
Let me start making whiskey.
Have you ever drank your whiskey and thought, this doesn't taste bad enough? Do you want it hotter? Sizzling whiskey.
I was also going to say Dan would probably have died in the Old West, apparently, if that's the only option.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to it later, but Doc Brown is me in the bar when he's like, can I have something harder than sarsaparilla? And they're like, do you know what happened to you on the 4th of July? And he has one shot and he goes completely to the floor. Anyway.
When Marty's in the bar the first time, in comes Mad Dog Buford Tannen and his goons. And the most disappointing fact of the movie becomes apparent. That Billy Zane is not one of the goons in this movie. No. They recast all the goons.
Terrible. Despicable.
I made a point to look to see if he was in there. Like, maybe they just forgot to put him in the opening titles. No. He had become too big. That's my reasoning anyway.
Probably. Remember where you came from, Billy Zane. That's all I have to say.
I miss his eyebrows.
Yeah, these were very forgettable goons, in my opinion.
I really wanted one of them to have, like, 1885 3D glasses on.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, very steampunk, like the giant circle. I don't know. That would be so cool.
So Marty recognizes him as Buford Mad Dog Tannen. He calls him Mad Dog. Mad Dog doesn't like it, so they go and they're going to have a fight, and Marty loses badly. So Buford attempts to lynch him in the town square, hang him right in front of the new Hill Valley Clock Tower courthouse.
I was flabbergasted. I was like, that's what you do for fun when you're bullying people? You just straight up try to kill them? What is going on? Like, he must have been dropped as a baby or something. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's not the answer to somebody calling you by a name you don't like, sir.
Also,
so they
Oh, I was just going to say, Dan, we kind of skipped over how Mad Dog was shooting at his feet and he was moonwalking.
Oh, yeah.
He was like singing Billie Jean, and we were both like, is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because he wanted him to dance, so Marty started dancing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord.
So they get Marty strung up, and trivia fact for y'all, when he is hanging there, he's hanging by the neck, he had like a safety rope, but it got caught, so he was actually getting hanged during the scene, and they only stopped the filming when they were like, wait, this swinging is too realistic.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It makes me so sad. Like, also, as a performer, that's something that terrifies me, and why if I ever have to be, quote-unquote, hung in a show, I'll have, like, a straight-up panic attack. Hire me. Yay.
I'm surprised they didn't have, like, a safe word or a safe symbol, like a hand signal or something,
yeah,
to
you
say,
would think.
stop it. But whatever, it was the 90s. It was a different time.
Yeah.
We watched the behind-the-scenes filming thing, and I was like, wow. A lot of these things are not happening on sets today.
Yeah,
There's a lot more danger.
Yeah, for real. Actors were disposable in the 90s.
Direct quote from Michael J. Fox, pain is temporary, film is forever.
Amen. Yikes.
Amen. Yikes. The only reason Marty survives being lynched is because steampunk superhero Doc Brown comes up and saves him. He gets Buford to go away, and we hear that he has a $80 debt that he allegedly owes to him, which is the reason he gets shot in the future. So Marty and Doc go back to Doc's new lab, which in 1885 he's a blacksmith. He's really an alchemist, but
he also looks like Inspector Gadget. Like when he's introduced, I was like, "Whoa, Inspector Gadget look!"
It's a fresh new look for him.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I love it.
And Marty tells Doc that the DeLorean has a punctured gas tank, so they'll need to fix that. And Doc reacts like, "Oh no!" And Marty's like, "Why? You have the Mr. Fusion. That was only to power the fusion reactor, though. The DeLorean has always run on gas," which seems like a slight oversight on Doc's part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially after he's been into the future. He sees what the future is. Do all the cars still run on gas in future 2015? Unfortunately, yes. But maybe in that dream world, they had moved on to something else. They're all wind-powered or something. Mm-hmm. They're all sailboats on the road.
Run by compost.
Oh.
I poop and it runs my car.
Okay, yes. What is that from? Is that from something?
What?
I poop and it runs my car.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I just really think that we should find a way to make human waste run things. Okay, anyway.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if I had a waking dream that was what I would like. I don't know. I just think that's a good idea because we've got an infinite supply. Anyway.
That's true. Once In Conclusion starts printing shirts, one of them will be, "It poops and it runs my car."
Yes.
So Doc and Marty now hatch a plan to get the DeLorean up to 88. They try and tow it by horseback, but only reaches 30 or something. And they end up talking to the train conductor where they find out that if you are on a straight enough, flat enough piece of railway and you get the fire hot enough, it should be able to get to 90. So that's how they hatch their plan. They're going to do that. Seems pretty simple, right? Everything is going to plan. Everything. Mm-hmm. This is slam, bang, whiz, zoom. Nothing bad's going to happen to the rest of the heroes. And then it's just going to be a hangout movie. But no, earlier, Doc had agreed to greet the new school teacher who was coming into town from the East Coast. Ooh. I feel like I should be doing this episode in my bad Western Southern accent.
Oh God, there's one of the drunks in the bar talks like your Western Southerny combined with like an old timey radio host. Mm-hmm. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one that's like Stinky Pete.
Yes, I love him. Later on, he goes, "Run for fun? What the hell kind of fun is that?" I loved it. I loved it. He was my favorite.
Don't people walk anymore?
Literally.
Don't they run?
Oh, God. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. So, Doc and Marty, they go to greet the school teacher, but she... Well, I don't know. She gets on a horse-drawn carriage because he's not there at the station. And the horses, they go crazy. And they go and take her towards a gulch that she is definitely going to die in if it's not for their
One
saviorism.
might say Clayton Gulch, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Clayton Canyon, Clayton Gulch,
Canyon.
one of the two.
Yeah.
So they save her from the canyon, which means that Clayton Canyon is no longer named Clayton Canyon. It's back to the Native American name. Because in the future, as it turns out, she dies without the intervention of Doc and Marty, because Marty's like, yeah, we always knew a teacher did that because we always wanted to throw our teachers in there. And I was like, well, I mean, that is par for the course for school kids, but also, Marty, be better.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just be better.
Just
also,
be better.
Can I just say, so her name's Clara Clayton, right? That's why it's called Clayton Canyon, because that's her name. It's named after her.
I just want
Oh,
to go, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Finish.
No, you say say your point. Anna Horst knows what I'm going to say now.
I'm very nervous. Okay. Doc is like so upset that he did a good deed. He saves Clara and then he like pouts about it. I was like, can you just be happy that you saved somebody's life? I know you're all concerned that you ruined history, but like, boo-hoo, somebody's alive. I don't know.
What I was going to say is that I know her name is Clara Clayton, but I was the entire time referring to her as Clara Belle Cow.
Like, isn't that a Disney cow?
Yeah.
Oh my
like
god.
Like a goofy thing?
Yeah. Oh my god. No.
Yeah.
Dan, no.
Doc falls in love with Clara Belle Cow.
No. That's an old Disney reference. That's old. That's like when I tell people, whenever I reference Pete, they're like, who? Inspector Pete? I'm like, no, Pete, the like dog, the really big dog thing.
Yeah.
He's in a goofy movie. Yeah. I enjoy him. But anyway.
So for the rest of this episode, I will be referring to her as Clara Belle Cow.
Oh my god.
Just as a warning. How do you guys feel about Clara Belle Cow?
She's fine. She's got some good fashion sense.
Yes. I appreciate her fashion. Also, when we watched the behind the scenes, they described her as spunky. And what else did they say? They called her spunky and unique, which I think is a way of saying that she wouldn't have married anyone if it weren't for Doc.
Yeah, probably, because he would also be described as spunky and unique, if you know what I'm saying, because he's kind of weird. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Again, not to be rude or anything, but Doc isn't exactly my cup of tea, and I don't know that I would have fallen in love at first sight with him, so I think it did take two little spunky, unique people to fall in love like that, so. Oh, go ahead.
I want to be nice with how I describe her, but she's a dumbass.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know how to drive a horse and carriage, maybe ask. I mean, I feel like this would have been the time where it would have been appropriate to ask if you could hitch a ride with somebody else. I don't think I would have taken on the task of driving not one but two horses when I don't really seem to know what to do if they get out of control, or how to stop them or calm them down if they see a snake and get scared or something like that. I don't know, but she also is like not afraid of all the spider webs on her school, which I could never. So
So because of that, she is more stronger than you, but still you would know how to handle your horses.
yes, by which I mean I wouldn't have taken the carriage because I don't know how to drive a horse-drawn carriage either. So
Hold your horses.
yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
So anyways, Doc and Clara Belle Cow immediately fall in love, and then they end up going to the town festival later that night, where
It's so cute.
It's so cute. ZZ Top is playing.
Yes.
They're the band.
I made that exact same joke. Oh my gosh.
No, that's literally ZZ Top.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that explains so much because they did the spin and I was like, haha, that's like ZZ Top. And then I just carried on with my life. I'm so glad to know that it actually is. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Because they wrote the song for this movie that they play over the credits.
Wow.
And the band is ZZ Top. They didn't really have to dress up or anything. Just they didn't have to do any makeup. They already have the beards.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what image I'm going to use to advertise this specific episode. And yes, it is a screen grab from King of the Hill. Okay, go on.
At the town festival, Buford tries to kill Doc. He ends up sneaking a gun in with his hat. We also learn that Marty is a crack shot because he's given the rifle and he shoots at whatever the game is. And he's asked, "Where did you learn to do that?" And he says, of course, 7-Eleven. Great line. Very strong, very 80s writing. Mm-hmm. If you learn to shoot like that at the 7-Eleven now, there are much more dire consequences.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Buford, he sneaks a gun in his hat. He puts it to Doc's back. And Doc is just, oh my gosh, he has so much confidence. He immediately turns around. He's like, "No, you're not going to kill me."
No. Even if I was 100% sure that there were no bullets in that gun, I still wouldn't do it. I'd be too scared. Mm-hmm. I don't even like prop guns. They make me nervous. I don't know. Ooh. Give me the heebie-jeebies.
So then Buford calls Marty a yellow belly, which is chicken for this movie. And Marty ends up challenging him to a duel at 8 a.m. on Monday, which is the exact same time when the train that they're supposed to take is going. And Marty's like, "Why? It's fine." Actually, the exact words are, "I like to do my killing before breakfast, 7 a.m. And Marty's like, "I like to do my killing after breakfast, 8 a.m., please."
I would be like, ugh, I like to do my killing, like, in the afternoon so I can sleep in, get a couple meals, don't rush me.
I know, I feel like Mad Dog is not the kind of man who wakes up at, like, 6 to prepare for a shoot down or whatever. What is it?
A shootout?
Shootout. What did I just say?
Shoot down!
But I guess, like, they didn't have alarm clocks. They just kind of woke up when the sun rose, didn't they?
I guess,
so he'd probably be up at, like, 5. Oh, that word alone makes me sad.
When I was in high school, I read somewhere that, like, yeah, if you sleep with your blinds open, you'll wake up with the sun. It'll be fine. I did that once. I sleep with my blinds open now. I woke up once with the sun, and then I was back to waking up at like 10 a.m.
Yeah, I have like a little section of our blinds are pulled up so that we can get the wind blowing through our apartment, but I never wake up with the sun. I still wake up at like 9:30 p.m. So I love sleeping. Anyway.
Why wake up with the sun when you can wake up with the daughter?
Oh my God. Bye. I hated that.
We're done.
Dan's thrown off the podcast. Hashtag Dan O'Keefe over party.
Yes.
I can't. I'm trending.
You're trending, Dan. You made it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still flabbergasted because I literally have in my notes the band with their beards and twirling instruments. I love ZZ Top. I'm so shook. Okay, anyway, sorry.
So Marty looks at the picture again. The name is erased, but the date and how they died is still on the tombstone. And then Doc tries to convince Clara that he's from the future. She gets mad and breaks up with him. I'm yada-yadaing over all their, like, dating stuff because it's really boring.
Oh, wait. I do have a note. Oh, go ahead. Yours is probably actually a note and mine's just dumb. So you go first, Anna.
No, you're fine. Like, amidst the dating part, we get to see Marty's behind.
Wait! That's exactly what I was going to say!
Yes!
Oh, my God. We're on the same page.
We're on the same page. The Annas are on the same page, and I love that we get to refer to ourselves as the Annas.
Yes, I literally put in my notes, Michael J. Fox booty cheek sighting. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you said it, 'cause I was literally going to say the same thing. Okay.
The Annas are on the same page, and that page is butt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Doc goes to the saloon to just get drunk, and he ends up telling stories of the future to the three men at the table, which is very funny. We talked about it earlier. And Doc drinks a single shot of whiskey and immediately passes out.
He's a cheap date like me.
Yes. Oh, Anna Horst and I were talking about that. We're talking about cheap dates last night after watching the movie. And I was like, I'm a cheap date. All I want is a slice of pizza and a milkshake.
There you go. That's a little expensive, Dan.
A milkshake? A slice of pizza is like $2.
Yeah, but no, I know. It depends where you're going. Is it a good place for pizza, or is it like the Hut?
It's
Just
like
kidding.
Costco.
Sorry, I know this is a pro Hut group, but I'm negative Hut. It makes my tummy hurt.
Oh.
Anyway.
I think of the Hut as airport food.
Yeah, fair.
Which, Anna Horst's family, I apologize. Because they have strong feelings towards the
I
Hut
know,
and towards Domino's.
I spoke negatively about the Hut, and I was like, oh man, I'm going to get roasted. This is a pro Hut. We have a pro Hut guest.
It's okay. We don't praise the Hut, but it's not like we're anti-Hut.
Fair. Okay. I'll allow it.
To be clear, we're talking about Pizza Hut and not Jabba the Hutt, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So Marty looks at the picture again, and he sees that it now says Clint Eastwood, which is the pseudonym that he has been giving out to everybody in the past because Marty's too futuristic of a name. Then Marty refuses to duel. Doc wakes up after the bartender gives him wake-up juice, which I just imagine is capsaicin and pig guts or something.
I think it's spicy though, because he like runs out to the water. So I'm guessing it's like whatever random hot peppers they had or spices. It looks like SpaghettiOs. It's nasty.
I said that it looks like it could have been a Bloody Mary. Like before the Bloody Mary was invented, they had a very ratchet Bloody Mary. Yeah.
Yeah.
They also had to feed it to him by sticking a funnel in his mouth.
Right.
Oh. Nasty.
Can't look over that little detail. So Buford catches Doc, which forces Marty to duel him, and Marty eventually does get out. Buford goes, and he goes, draw, and then Marty goes, you draw! They're playing a game of chicken.
Yes.
Also, when Marty walks out, there is a chicken behind him. I don't know if that was planned or not.
Oh, wait, there's like a lot of chickens in this movie, and I love chickens. They're just so cute.
So Buford shoots Marty. It seems like he's died. Buford goes to check on him, and Marty gets up and punches him. Gives him the old 1-2, the old haymaker, the old whiz-bang, slam-boom combo.
Yes.
Ends up punching him into a manure truck.
Yes, we love the manure gag. We love it. Welcome back, baby.
Finally, we hear the line that we thought was in the previous two movies. I hate manure. Buford finally says, I hate manure. Mm-hmm. Tommy F. Wilson. In the behind-the-scenes documentary for the movie that was on the DVD, they had him in all that makeup. And he's talking to the behind-the-scenes crew, and he's like, you know, working in Hollywood really is glamorous. So come on, everybody. Come out to California. You get to dress like this. You get to land in a bucket of manure.
Oh, God. Ew. And when he spits it out of his mouth later on, nasty. Nasty.
He plays it up well. He
does.
That's like one of the best scenes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they go and they get to the train. Actually, Buford is arrested earlier for robbery. Originally, he was arrested for the murder of the sheriff, and they dubbed over that line in the movie, which is why the line doesn't really sync up with what the new sheriff is saying. Mm-hmm. And the murder of the sheriff is a deleted scene where the sheriff meets up with Buford, and he just wants him to go past and not kill him. So the sheriff and his son, they go past, and Buford shoots him in the back. Like a cold-blooded killer. And that was too dark. think that's why they cut it.
That's pretty dark.
It was really intense. When we were watching it, I was like, what? I know this isn't real. But little much.
Oh, boy.
So Marty and Doc, they end up and they find the train. Clara Belle Cow hears salesman discussing how heartbroken Doc was, and she pulls the emergency brake on the train. I don't know if that's how emergency brakes on trains work, but it's a movie.
I've only been on trains a couple of times, so I can't really speak to how they work.
Normally it gives a notification to the conductor, who then stops it. It's not like you pull on a wire and like the wire on the bus doesn't stop the bus.
True, yeah, you have to wait till they get to the next bus stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Clara Belle Cow now goes to chase after them because, oh my gosh, I'm in love with him. They steal the locomotive. Doc and Marty do. It is pushing the DeLorean along the train line. Everything is going according to plan. They've loaded up with special logs that burn hotter and hotter and hotter.
They make the smoke different colors. I just think
that's
cool.
fun.
Yes. And Claire's wearing a beautiful purple dress, might
Yeah.
I just say. It's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. It's also a very strong dress, as we'll see in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And so she climbs on the train while Doc goes to climb towards the DeLorean because Doc is going to go back into the future with him. But then they see that Clara is hanging off the side of the DeLorean, the train, not the DeLorean, not even by her arms, not her foot is caught. No, a single stitch of her dress gets caught on the side of the train, and she is hanging there for dear life.
Can I just say, I am thoroughly surprised that her hair, which is billowing in the wind, hasn't gotten sucked up by... This is going to be so dark. Hasn't gotten sucked up by a wheel and broken her neck. Like, I think that's what would have happened in real life. Her hair, which is so long and beautiful, would have gotten caught up in the wheel and it would have been turning and her neck would have snapped. The end.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Anna,
So,
I was thinking even darker than that, so don't worry.
Oh, phew. Thank goodness.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking that her hair would have gotten stuck in the wheel and that it would have just fucking pulled her in.
Oh my god, her whole body. Oh, I didn't
You
even
might
think
want to
about
cut that.
Also, we were talking about this during the movie, when all the explosions go off to boost the train up to the next gear, I guess.
Yeah.
She is directly behind.
Oh, yeah.
She would have been burnt to death.
She's holding on, though. At first, when that first one goes off and she's holding on to the back and it just, like, pulls her straight up, her arms, her fingers, her hands, she must have, like, lizard pads so she can stick onto walls and stuff. There's no other explanation.
So Doc ends up climbing back to save her. Marty throws the hoverboard, and Doc very heroically saves her. He catches her. They fly off away from the train. They, in a very green-screened moment.
Yeah.
A
that
very
one's not
obviously
great.
green-screened one. And so Doc stays in the past with Clara as Marty goes 88, right as the train goes over into the gulch and explodes in a very fiery explosion that they added an overlay of smoke to make it seem even more impressive.
It's a metaphor for my life since quarantine started. A flaming train wreck. No, I'm kidding. That's self-deprivation joke. I hope everybody laughs, please. Anyway.
Do you mean self-deprecation? I hope it's not
yeah.
self-deprivation.
Oh my god, whoops. Self-deprecation joke. Depriving myself of joy, though.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I'm going to hear from my mom whenever I say something wrong in the podcast. She goes, "You doughhead," and tells me what I said wrong. I'm like, yep.
That's our next t-shirt. You doughhead.
Oh, that's the Otto family of calling someone an idiot.
I think I'm safe to say this now. My mom only listens to like 30 minutes of the podcast because she's like, it's too long and I don't care about the movies.
Fair.
I like hearing you talk. You and your friends just talk, but I don't like these movies. I don't care. If we talked about like Philomena or Spotlight, she would be all in. Or like All the President's Men. But
don't tell your mom I made that face. Don't tell your mom. Although I did tell my mom what we were doing next, and she went, "Ugh, really?" And I went, "Yup."
So Marty ends up back in 1985. Doc had told him to destroy the DeLorean, which Marty doesn't really have a choice to do because a train immediately runs over the car just as he jumps out.
Does he think he's the train? Oh, I'm sorry. Anna Horst?
I was going to say, Anna Horst, what did you say when that happened?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking, like, because he drives past everyone on the road, on the tracks, and the thing. And if you were in one of those cars and then you just see the car you saw on the tracks smashed to smithereens, I would have been, like, hysterical, crying, like, calling 911. No one reacts.
Yeah. I would have gotten out of my car. I would have been like, somebody help. We got to help this guy. There's been a crash. Yes. I also have in my notes, though, I was like, dude, you got to get out of your car. If I knew I was going to land on a train, railroad track, the second I got there, I think I would jump out of the car because I don't know what's going to be there. And he has a history of being like, nothing's going to be there and running into something as soon as he gets to the next place. Trees, groups of people, a train? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Not letting it happen.
So Marty, now that the DeLorean has been destroyed, he goes and he picks up Jennifer, his girlfriend, the worst Jennifer, unfortunately. And they go for a drive in his lifted Ford truck.
The ugliest car my eyes have ever seen.
Ugh.
And as they're going for a drive... Sorry, I skipped over the fact that we see Marty's family again, and it's still not Crispin Glover. That's why he stays far back and everybody else comes into the scene. As they go and as they drive... They end up meeting up with Needles, who we met future Needles, played by Flea.
It's so dumb.
His gang of hooligans.
So dumb.
He calls him a chicken.
Yeah, that they have to come back to who he is in the third movie because we don't know who he is in the second movie and they act like we do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Needles calls him a chicken and baits him to race him. Needles' goons are the same people who played Biff's goons in the 1800s. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why they had to have different goons, so that Biff and Needles didn't have the same goons, I guess.
Probably.
Well, Billy Zane would have been like in his mid-40s, late 40s in the 80s as a character.
Yeah.
Because he was from the 50s, unfortunately.
I guess. Yeah, you're right.
So he baits him into racing, but Marty throws it in reverse, which is weird that he didn't just stay there.
Yeah, just rev your engine and don't drive. Like, put it in hard.
Because, like, going in reverse could be even more dangerous. But anyway, they see Needles' car almost smash into a Rolls Royce, which was the car that Marty got into a car accident, which ruined his music career in the future. And Jennifer, because she's an idiot, pulls out the fax that says you're fired and sees it fade away.
Jennifer.
I may have called her an idiot too early, but anyways, they go back to the train's tracks where the DeLorean got exploded. And then the train lights go off, but no train is coming.
Gasp.
Then suddenly...
You both actually gasped.
And then suddenly... a futuristic Jules Verne-like train comes out. It's being driven by Doc. He made a time machine in 1890, I'll assume, because he has two children with Clara now, Jules and Verne.
There it is.
That train is like high tech, though. That's a nice looking train.
It is a nice looking train. They also have a dog.
If he invented... Oh, didn't they just go back and get Einstein?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, they did go back and get Einstein.
I almost had an emotional breakdown when I discovered that it wasn't Copernicus and that it was Einstein and that he went... I don't know why Copernicus, but I mean that he went back to get Einstein because I was, like, so emotional that he, like, cared about his dog that much.
I would have gone back. I would have been like, build this machine. Einstein needs me. Oh, he's a sweet baby angel.
And Jennifer asks him, Doc, I had this fax in my pocket, but now it's gone. What happened?
Well, Jennifer, you're dumb.
What do you think happened? The future changed, woman.
It's because nobody's future is written, Jennifer.
It's good. It's a good Doc impression.
Thank you. It was actually horrible. You can say it. It's okay. I'm awful at accents and dialects. Thank you.
And then Doc, Marty asks Doc, where are you going to go? Not where, Marty, when? And then they fly off into the screen.
Can we
the end.
Take 2 seconds before we the end?
Okay.
In that scene alone, they said Back to the Future about 25 times.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the end.
Doc, where are you going? Back to the future? No, Marty, I'm not going back to the future. But Doc, you need to go back to the future.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
How did you feel about, I don't know. I thought that was the cheesiest part of it, and obviously Jennifer's statement made it even worse.
I like that they wrap things up so we know that Doc is like happy and with the love of his life, because otherwise, I mean, it's kind of sad to be like, oh, there's no closure about will he ever see Doc again? Is Doc happy? Like, did he make the right choice? But obviously he did, and you get to see that he's a family man now, but he's still inventing, and he cares about Marty, and they'll probably be in touch at some point again, and it just makes me happy.
Very, very cute. Very cute.
Very cute.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Yay!
What do you want? Anna, what did you want?
I wanted to say that I wanted a even more steampunk Doc.
Oh. Fair. Fair. More bronze.
Yes. Yeah, I want a bronze god Doc Brown.
Yes. Bronze
That
Fonz.
is Back to the Future Part 3.
Woo.
Overall thoughts in comparison to the other two movies. What did you two think about that?
Anna Horst, our guest.
Maybe I spoiled it in the beginning. I still like this movie a lot. Again, very cute. I also did a physics project on this, so that is what it always reminds me of. I always think back to that project, and I just love the Old West sort of part of it, and that Doc gets a lady friend. That's nice for him. But yeah, I have really come to love the second movie after watching them all again. Really like the second one, but this one's still a good, cute one to end everything.
I feel like, for me personally, like I said earlier, I liked this movie. It's definitely not my favorite. I think my order would go 2, 1, 3. But it's not a bad movie in my opinion. It's just not of the same genre to me. Like I said, it is, but it isn't. It's a lot more, I mean, it's a Western.
Mm-hmm.
With some non-Western aspects, of course, but it's pretty Western-y.
Yeah. I think this is definitely the goofiest of the three movies. They're definitely leaning hard into themselves.
Oh, yeah, when the
this
bartender goes, when Marty asks the bartender if there's a back door, and he goes, yeah, it's in the back. Who wrote that line? Who wrote that line?
I'm going to fight Robert Zemeckis.
Literally. Get him
but
over here.
I do enjoy, it felt like the actors were having the most fun in this movie. You could definitely tell they really liked playing the 1800s versions of whatever their characters were.
Yeah.
Except maybe Leah Thompson, because she just had fewer and fewer roles, fewer and fewer things to do in each movie.
Yeah. Her character in this movie seemed sort of stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
pioneer mother? Absolutely.
Yeah, I too would be stressed if I lived in pioneer times. I just told my mom, baking bread is exhausting, and I couldn't do it every day. And I'm sure that's what she had to do, making biscuits, cooking rabbit, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
That's tiring. It's tiring.
Yeah. There was one scene that I noticed. It was right at the end of the town square scene where Marty and red-haired Irish Marty are talking.
Seamus.
Yeah. Heinous, whatever his name is.
Seamus. You're the most Irish one in this group, Dan. You should know these things.
So they're talking, and then Chambran walks away.
Oh my God.
Leaving just Marty and his great-grandmother, Leah Thompson. And they're having a conversation, but she is looking nowhere near his eye line. She is
yeah.
looking at a tennis ball 45 miles away.
She does not even care. She
No.
has no interest. And she, like, makes that clear from the beginning. She is not as trusting as her husband is.
And in the Back to the Future behind-the-scenes documentaries that we watched, she's never interviewed.
Really?
I just realized that. They always have Michael J. Fox. They always have Tom Wilson. They always have Robert Zemeckis. But that's really it.
Maybe she didn't really want... I don't know. I'm sure that in the 80s things were probably still kind of... Women aren't as important. But maybe it was because she didn't have a big enough role or something. I don't know.
So, some trivia about the movie.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. I found the Back to the Future wiki.
Yes.
Oh boy, there's a lot of trivia on here.
Yes. Let's hear it.
It was shot under the working title 3, which is lazy.
Just 3?
Yeah.
Oh boy, okay.
Doc says that his family didn't arrive until 1908, and their last name was von Braun, meaning that Doc is most likely related to Werner von Braun, who was he invented the V-2 rocket, and he was big in the space program. The posters at the drive-in theater are Revenge of the Creature and Tarantula, which were 2 of Clint Eastwood's first movies.
Oh,
Cool.
The drive-in was unfortunately built and torn down immediately after filming.
Oh, it's cute. It looked like it would have been real.
Yeah.
It is cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got hanged. Sorry, he was hanged in 1885.
He
but
was hung.
survived.
Oh my god.
We saw the back. We didn't see the front. We don't know.
True.
We don't know.
The scene with Buford killing Marshall Strickland was in the novelization, and it was in the bonus of the 2002 release. So there's no explanation why it wasn't Marshall Strickland who arrested him at the film. At the end of the movie, it was a different Marshall, the one who made him check his guns earlier. The clothes that Doc wears in the final scene are modeled after Professor Marvel or the Wizard of the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, okay. I can see that. 100% I can see that.
And then the movie apparently takes place in the same universe as the 2014 film A Million Ways to Die in the West,
I've never
when a
seen that
scene
movie.
showed Doc Brown trying to hide the DeLorean from the main character.
Oh my god.
Right?
That's kind of cute, but interesting.
And then some more trivia, because I go to multiple websites. Let's see. The location for 1885 Hill Valley was used in the 85 Clint Eastwood movie Pale Rider.
Weird name.
The main cast, most of them, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, and Tom Wilson, all said that this was their favorite movie, the one they had most fun filming, and it's very evident.
Yeah.
Crispin Glover said that he thinks that the third one is the best in the trilogy.
Weird flex, but okay.
Mary Steenburgen signed on because her children begged her to do so.
Oh, that's cute. I love
Right.
when actors do things because their kids want them to.
In the script, Doc drank the whole bottle of whiskey
Oh.
instead of just one
I'm
shot,
glad
which
they
doesn't
did
work
the
as
shot. That was
Yeah,
That was
it's
just the best.
funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well. Ronald Reagan was asked to play the 1885 mayor.
Yes, I knew that. Gage told me that, and I couldn't remember if he was president or not in 1990, so I asked. I was like, "Am I?" And Gage was like, "No, he was not," because I feel like that would have caused some drama, even though he was an actor. If the president was doing a movie again, I feel like there would have been drama, but I don't know. Maybe that's just how it would be in today's political climate, but
This would have been a year after he was out of office, and the only comparable example would be Arnold Schwarzenegger going back to acting after being the
Fair.
governor of California, because he went back like immediately after. He was in the second Expendables movie in 2011 when his term ended.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Is that all the trivia that I have? Is it? I don't know. And ZZ Top was the band.
Still blown away. Still blown away.
What a banger song.
Oh.
So, as always, what actor was doing the most in the movie? Who was trying their hardest? Who's doing the best?
The puppy wearing the hat. Who played Copernicus. He was really killing it. He brought his A game. He looked like a 10 in the caves, and he stole my heart. Thank you.
Anna Horst?
Copernicus also.
Yes.
He did play an important role because they would not have found the cemetery stone or headstone. Jeez.
Because he was crying.
He was crying at it.
Yeah, he was mourning.
He was mourning. Okay. For real. I guess probably Tom Wilson then again. So Mad Dog. I just like watching the behind the scenes also made it better. I like realized just kind of how much he was really getting into the role, and it was just really funny to see him kind of switch from himself to Mad Dog. So I'm going with him.
Yeah, I would agree with you again on that one, for sure.
Yeah, I would too. I'd say Mad Dog. On the other end, I think it's Leah Thompson, who was incredibly phoning it in. I don't think she wanted to be there.
Maybe she didn't. Maybe she wanted to be there, but, there wasn't much of an opportunity for her to really play a major part.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could have given her more of a role because, I don't know. It would have been too boring if they brought his family into it, I think. It would have. They're boring people, let's admit it.
Yeah, I feel like this was just kind of a boringly written role for her. I feel like they gave her the role of stern mother, which was not how Lorraine was at all. So I think it was just kind of a less fun part to play, perhaps. But
yeah, hers was definitely the most underwritten character in the movie. Although her accent much better than Michael J. Fox's.
Oh my God, yes.
Would this movie be better, worse, or the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas in it?
I feel like I've said this before for all the other movies. I couldn't touch it, I like how it is, as is. I think it needs to stay Michael J. Fox this one time. This 3 times.
Anna Horst, better, worse, or the same with Chris Evans?
I would love to see Chris Evans in a Wild West film. I think they should do that. I would love to see it.
He could work those tight pants.
He could work it. If we liked the booty in this film, oh baby. Again, can't swap him out for anyone. He could have just been someone in town that I could have stared at their ass in the bar. But
he could have been the guy who's measuring Marty.
The Undertaker?
Yeah, the Undertaker would have been.
Oh my God. I loved that scene. It was so funny. Oh my God.
But, yep.
Jimmy Stewart could have slid in here and not stood out at all. It would have been perfect. He could have played any role. The bartender, the mayor, the marshal, Buford. Jimmy Stewart as Buford. Oh my Lord, I am all in on this.
I think he would have really killed it as the mayor, personally. That's where I would have placed him.
And how does it rank? You, Anna, Otto, you already said your ranking goes 2, 1, 3.
Indeed it does.
Anna Horst, how does it rank for you?
You got me contemplating this now because I don't know. I really love the first and the second. I almost like the second more now though. So maybe I will have to say 2, 1, 3.
Yes. Welcome, sister. 2, 1, 3.
Come to the dark side. I am in agreement. It goes 2, 1, 3 for me.
Yes.
It's just 2. I'll explain my reasoning. 2, because it hits the best of the first one. It also adds 2015 into it, which I really like. 1, because it's the original. And then 3, it's still fun, but it doesn't rank up with the other 2.
I would say those rankings don't mean any of them are bad. It just means that 1 and 2 are better.
Yeah. Does this movie remind you of any other movies?
You know,
besides, obviously, 1 and 2.
Dan, I was dying to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit while watching this movie. I think I'm going to watch it tonight. I don't know why. Well, I do know why Christopher Lloyd's in it. His characters are not the same at all.
They're completely different.
But I just always, it was like when you're like, eating something and you're like, what would really go with this?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes! Yes! So that's where I was. I mean, they literally have nothing in common except for the fact that Christopher Lloyd is in them, but I don't know. Apparently that's where my brain is today.
Anna Horst, any similar movies?
I'm not going to be basic and compare it to an Old West film, but I will be basic and compare it to Little House on the Prairie.
Bless.
I just like, especially his boring family. Very Little House on the Prairie, like, don't touch my baby. And, oh no, you fell in a well. I don't know.
Timmy fell in a well. Yep.
Unfortunately, this movie does not end like Little House on the Prairie ends. The house does not blow up.
Can you imagine? Oh my god.
That's literally how Little House on the Prairie ends.
Wait, what?
In the last episode, they blow up the house.
Now, forgive me. I don't like Little House on the Prairie. My mom is quaking at that statement. Are you serious or are you kidding? Because I'm gullible and I'm never sure.
I am serious. I also don't like it.
Wow, okay.
I don't think I ever watched it, but that's just a piece of trivia that I always remember.
That's interesting and seems to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, I looked it up because I was just curious. Is it actually called The Last Farewell? And it says the citizens blow up the town?
There's
what?
There's a New York Times headline that just says, Prairie set is dynamited for finale.
Whoa! That's so
I feel like I'm in an alternate reality right now. This doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm in like a different Earth.
Thank you for listening to all 9 seasons of our Little House on the Prairie podcast.
Yep, pretty much.
Little House on the podcast.
Oh my god. Dan, I would burst into flames just like their town. Like
The movie that going back to the movie, it most reminds me of Wild Wild West, the Will Smith one.
Oh.
Because of the futuristic train stuff.
Yeah.
Wild Wild West is terrible though. Well, this is fun.
There's a rap song. I'm singing it in my head. I don't actually know the words. So I know that he says Wild Wild West.
Yes.
Yes.
So you know like half of the words.
Got it.
And okay, 5 out of 5 Little House on the Prairie houses getting blown up. What would you rate this movie?
Anna, what would you rate it?
Oh my god, wow, and you put it like in explosions. I'll give it a 3.5, somewhere around there.
That's where I was leaning too.
It's an enjoyable film. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I'd give it a 3.
3?
3? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're all in agreement. Agreements? We all agree.
There we go. And that is it for our Back to the Future trilogy. We're not going to be talking about the making of Back to the Future, the TV special starring Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains.
Oh my lord.
That is on the 3rd DVD as a special feature where he answers fake questions from fake viewers.
Oh lord above.
Unfortunately, we're also not going to be talking about Back to the Future, the ride, which was fun.
R.I.P.
Fun ride. It's gone, though. The Simpsons ride replaced it.
Which is also really fun.
It is, yeah. Thank you, Anna Horst, for joining us for these past 3 episodes.
Aw,
I'm clapping.
It was glad. I am glad to be a part of the Annas. It was
yes.
such a time. Thank you for having me.
we'll have you back in the future once we talk about not another teen movie or something.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, yeah. If you ever have any Chris Evans needs, let me know.
I'll let you know. Gage and I watched Snowpiercer last night.
Oh, yes. That's an intense movie.
It was good. I liked it, but I thought of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Seems like maybe you have the Chris Evans needs. I don't.
Maybe.
Anna Otto, thank you as always.
Thank you, Dan.
For being here. Next week, we will be back with a brand new guest, Caroline Norton.
Yay!
Our
More
friend.
child applause.
She is our friend. She's an actress in Milwaukee, and she loves the High School Musical series.
Haha!
So our next 3 episodes are going to be about High School Musical, equal cinematic classics to Jurassic Park and Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
So tune in for that. If you want to follow us on social media, you can. On Twitter, we're at And In Conclusion. On Instagram, we're at In Conclusion Pod.
Cast.
You can follow podcast. Podcast.
Yes.
You can follow me on Twitter at Dan O'Keefe86 or on Instagram at DLRAAR. Anna Horst, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Anna Horst or on Instagram at HorstAnna. I'm so creative.
And Anna Otto.
Here I come, too creative. You can find me on Instagram at AutomusPrime818, or you can follow me on Twitter at AutobotsRollOut, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll and the O in Out are zeros.
You're almost turning it into a song.
Yes. That makes it go faster.
Please rate and review the show if you can. That's very helpful to us. Please subscribe if you like it. We may be starting a Patreon soon because we do nothing unless it's for money.
Yes, I love
So get
money.
excited for that.
Oh man, that sounded so sad out loud. Anyway.
So we'll be back next week with High School Musical. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. Stay sane. If you could donate to worthy causes, donate to worthy causes.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I just found out that you can give poodles dreadlocks.